Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. This is Duplex Build to Rent. My name is Juan Cristales, and I'm going to be walking you through the whole entire process here of a ground up new construction duplex. If that's something that interests you or something that you've always been interested in learning, please hang out. We're going to be talking nothing but new construction ground up. This is the crazy part about what I've done in my career as a real estate investor. Essentially, I started doing fix and flips, started with real basic paint, floors, that kind of stuff. And then I just got more and more complicated. But then at the end of it, I realized that I was doing such heavy rehabs, I should have just been doing new construction. And then I made the leap over to new construction. And now in retrospect, I wish I would have started here in new construction because this would have given me a better frame of reference for how the systems in a house work when you still have walls up, you still have issues and you can't figure out, right? And you're just relying on the expertise of someone else who may or may not be a master licensed technician to give you some advice on how you should fix it. So, because we're starting brand new, everything is ground up, everything is clean. This process is a little bit more predictable, and that's why I really, really like it. So, let me show you here what we got going on. We have a lot of material that got delivered. We got the sheathing. This is what the OSB, these pieces of plywood that are right here on the exterior, that's considered the sheathing. Now the guys are basically taking the pieces of wood, that whether they're 2x6s, 2x8s, and whatnot, according to the plan. It's already written out on the plan, the dimensions of those pieces of wood. They're cutting them into portions that are basically going to be creating the top of the roof. So what they do is they cut everything first. They cut and then they put them together up top. It's a little bit easier for them to do it that way. They also cut these little notches into the wood so that they can support at the bottom, right in this little area. Here, I want to take a picture of the Simpson Strong Tie. The Simpson Strong Tie, this stuff right here, is these pieces of metal right here that basically hold the structure together during high wind situations. This is an inspectionable item. The city's going to come out and check that out. These are anchor bolts as well. They hold basically the base plate, which is basically the bottom here. That's what this is called, this piece of wood. It holds it down to the concrete. This piece of wood here, this is called the base plate. So I'm just showing you a side of the wall there. And then we have a little bit something else here. No, the reason I took a picture of this for you guys is to basically reiterate the fact that this is a 2x6 wall here. This is the inside the utility room. You see how there's two different pieces of sizes of wood. This is going to be a 2x4. 2x4 piece of wood here, and this is going to be a 2x6. Why? Why do we need a 2x6? The reason we need a 2x6 here is because this is going to be the utility room, and so the exhaust vent for the dryer basically goes through here. It's a 4-inch. And it's a 4-inch vent. So if you were to basically do a 4-inch vent on a 2x4, you're going to bore out the whole thing. So we need to have a little bit of wood on both sides left over once that gets bored out. That's why we do a 2x6 in the utility room. All right, so these guys are getting ready to set that all up. They've got all their pieces of wood cut, and boom, they're starting to put this whole thing together, man. It is looking fantastic. This is a house wrap. It's also thermo barrier, Tyvek. We had the windows delivered a little bit early. I was trying to explain to Home Depot to just hold off on the delivery. They just went ahead and charged me and just sent the delivery out. I was really hoping that they would wait, but I was kind of busy out in the field doing some different stuff. So now we have to figure out a place to hold these windows because this is a high commodity item. We don't want these things to get damaged or broken, vandalized, or even stolen off the job site. I wanted to show you guys here real quick is because of this, and this is I was complaining at these guys about this. You have to keep an eye out for this stuff. Do you see that little area right there? I'm going to zoom in so you guys can get a little better look here. So it kind of bothered me that these guys were just being a little bit careless with these doors. So you see how this door is inside the other door, so it's scratching up the other door. And the challenge is that, like, it's not that big of a deal until you put the door in and it has a divot that's like very clearly visible to the eye, right? And so I was complaining to the guys, and the guys like, oh, whatever, just call Home Depot and they'll get you another one. I'm like, dude, but like, just be careful. Like, it doesn't have to be like that, right? Anyway, moving on here, we got some of the structure of the roof is going in. That's very, very exciting. All this, the gables going in, very cool. It is looking fantastic. It's starting to look like a house. This is the material that we ordered for what's called the cornice. So let me back up here and explain to you what the cornice is. That is going to be this area here. So if you notice, you can't like attach anything to that. You have to essentially have 2x4s running along the edge so that you can attach the fascia onto that. And so that is called the cornice. I'm going to show you a few more pictures here where they've actually gotten it done. See that right there? There is the cornice being built right there. I can't get this thing to work. So you see there's a bunch of little pieces of wood coming out, and then the 2x4 is going out that way. Let's see. I just took some more pictures here of the side of the house, man. We have the house wrap going in. It is looking fantastic. You got to get these little nails here. These little nails with caps on them. This is going to be also inspected by the city. They want to see the house wrap. They want to see the windows. So everything is looking good. I don't know why we went back. All right, guys, real quick, hold on a second. Okay, so that's basically all the updates that we have for this particular property right now. We're about to be dried in on this one. We already have the plywood there delivered. That's going to be the plywood that's going to go for the roof. We use the Tech Shield, which is the stuff that is has the little aluminum foil on it. There's a picture in here somewhere with it. And basically what that stuff is for is just to give it a little bit more, to keep the heat out, essentially. And so there it is right there. You see that right there? This is the Tech Shield stuff right there. You see this plywood that's right there? Oh my God, what am I doing? You see this plywood that's right here? You see how it has like aluminum foil on top? That's basically what we use for the roofing. And the reason we do that is because it's also inspected by the city. They're not going to really make a big deal about it, but I think it makes it a little bit more efficient. We're going to be keeping these duplexes. Sometimes there's a small little upgrade. The difference between this is going to be like maybe an extra dollar per sheet, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not going to break the bank. So we just go ahead and use the Tech Shield stuff for that. All right. Now we're going to be moving on to another project. Hang on. All right, guys, so now we are back to the 401 MLK property, and we have a lot of the trim carpentry going in. This takes a little bit more time. It's a little bit more detailed work. These guys have to be a little bit more precise about what they're doing. Let me make this smaller. And basically what they're doing is they're putting in all the baseboards. They're putting in the doors. This is all the trim carpentry work. You see that? That's what these guys are doing. The trim carpenters put in the door frame. They put in the door casing. They put in the shelving inside of the closets. Everything is looking nice and clean. You can see the door frame there. And so all those holes basically get puttied by the painter. He puts a little bit of putty on all those holes so it's a nice smooth. The tub surrounds are complete. We got the doors in. We have the window seals in as well. Now, a lot of the bigger production home builders, you'll notice that they have started to not do window seals, and it's just a function of them trying to save money. And I get it, man. It's gotten very expensive to do new construction. We may end up having to go to that, but for now, these guys just do the window seal anyway. But if you notice and you go to some of the new construction homes, they just basically are putting sheetrock over this here instead of like actually putting a window seal on there. What's the difference? I mean, it might help the appraisal, maybe, maybe not. It's not that big of a deal, honestly. We do upgrade the doors. We do these 5-panel doors that I think are a little bit more modern. And I like those. So we're going to be going to the bedrooms now. These guys are moving pretty quickly. And the benefit of the stuff that we do here, guys, is that, everything is pretty much primed, right? We have two kinds of paint. The paint that goes on the wood for the trim, for the baseboards and all this other stuff, and then the paint that's going to be going on the walls. And the paint that we use for the walls is the same paint that we use on the ceilings, just to make it one solid color all the way through. Just makes it easier and more cost effective. All right, guys, that is all of the updates that we have right now. This is going to be for the Runnels property and for the MLK property and where we're at with this. And so we are moving forward with it. Next is going to be the cabinets in the kitchen and the cabinets in the bathrooms. We got to get all that stuff situated. What we do typically is we order the cabinets and they come in a box. They have to be assembled, and that takes a little bit of time. It's kind of putting together a jigsaw puzzle, and then the cabinets will get installed. the upper cabinets, the lower cabinets in the kitchen. And then after that stuff is all complete, we can go ahead and either paint, or we can go ahead and order the granite countertops and all that other kind of stuff. All right, guys, that is all I got for you guys today. Thanks so much for watching. This is Duplex Build to Rent. If you want to learn more about this stuff, please just reach out in the comment section and I will be glad to direct you. I'll talk to you soon.